As a prominent military commander who trained so many Mujahideen and militants in those areas, and your understanding of Afghanistan, since you have been affiliated, according to your job, with Afghanistan, how you explain to us the real situations now in Afghanistan and in the past?
In the name of Allah, the most merciful and beneficial, that's a very good question. First of all, I would like to take this opportunity to extend my humble regards to the last Army General who commanded the Russian Army in Afghanistan. As his president decided to leave Afghanistan, he was the last to leave with great courage and the last soldier to cross the Ammo River. The Russian Army displayed commendable conduct. I heard about the British Army, they proved to be totally useless. And the present state of the American Army, everyone knows. They are reluctant to even face the Afghans, but the Russian Army fought very well, commendable conduct. And I wanted to convey to them, the Russians, do not lose your energy, conserve your energy. The Afghans will not be defeated. The diplomatic man who was here, he asked, "So what are you telling me? Where a dog can go, a Russian can go." I looked down, I said, "Yes, Excellency, that's right. I have seen them fighting, but I must tell you, where a dog will not go, an Afghan Mujahid will go." He said he didn't believe me. I said, "You will believe it." Now, about Afghanistan, historians consider this the graveyard of empires. In the last 3,000 years, many empires, superpowers, from Hounds and from Arans and from Mongols to Uzbeks, everyone came. They are bloody now. Those who were very strong, they have beaten the Afghans, and the Afghan just disappears in the mountains. They were never subdued. The British Army made a venture from the Indian side. Thrice they came and were bloodied. Once the entire army was finished, only one wounded Doc was allowed to escape. The Amir Ayyub Khan, the Emir of Herat, he brought his brigade and defeated the British Army in the Second Battle of Afghanistan on May the 1st in this area. They're very proud people. They're not scared to sacrifice their lives. Afghanis take courage in defending their country, and that is what they're doing today. I must tell you that the Russian was 4 times superior than the British Army and this present American Army in ground fighting. The Spetsnaz were formidable people. When they came onto the field, the Afghan Mujahideen did not know how to handle them. For about 6 months, Afghans were forced back. They could not carry out any action because of the fear of those Spetsnaz. Ultimately, they revised their own techniques and all that, and the Spetsnaz were also reined in. And the Russians fought very well, but at present these people from NATO are not willing to fight. It is not the technology, it's not the money. It is the superior faith, a religious faith, the faith to defend one's country, a stronger faith to defeat occupying forces, and a very superior faith to defend one's religion. And this is a very strong thing. Nobody can defeat them. Apart from that, they have a lot of experience. At present, they've been at war for 30 years. The bulk of them, about 80%, were born during the war. How can you defeat them? And that terrain is most suited to defend the area, to defend the people. And this is what Americans are facing. This present surge that they're planning to do, maybe they will kill more people, a large majority of civilian people and very few Talibans, but ultimately they are going to be finished.
You talked of the present situations and the past situations of Afghanistan, but since you are a commander and training those people who are now in the leadership of the Harakat of Taliban Afghanistan, how do you think that they would respond to the American negotiation offer? Do you think the Mullah Omar will accept the negotiation offer and sit with the Americans in one table to negotiate?
I tell you that he is the most considerate man. He is for his country and he is for peace in his country. Among all the leaders, I tell you that he is the most sensible man. That is why he's respected by the majority of the people. All the elder people somehow have a lot of respect for them. They fought very well against the Soviets, but at this moment they have been negated totally. Nobody has much of a following compared to Mullah Omar Mujahid. He is today the biggest leader and highly respected, and people are with him. And surely he will listen to every negotiation attempt. But American can be trusted? No, they must show that they can be trusted. If they can carry out this bribe strategy, it's a shameless conduct. This term will become part of military strategy, and people will laugh. A superpower now is using bribery that beats some people and pays money to others. This will not work today because the people have seen that their victory is coming.
Do you think the arrest of Mulla Abdul Ghani from Karachi will affect the strategy or the leadership of Taliban Afghanistan?
Oh, no, not at all. Actually, the leadership is the soul of the Holy Prophet, and that is the leadership they're following. And they have faith in Allah. What is Mullah Badar and all the others? I tell you, Mullah Muhammad, who was martyred in an early period, and he had the spirit of Mullah Umar. And people still respect him. After they buried him, they started fighting. And at that time, they were very weak. And many other people from Herat, people from Mazar-i-Sharif, formidable people, they were killed. They embraced Shahadat. If they have a convincing cause and a right cause and religious cause, it is not just a problem at all. It is credit to become a prisoner, and to get killed is an honor.
Now let's talk of the present military operations that's going on in Helmand and Marga specifically. Do you think, as a military commander, an experienced one, do you think that Americans will succeed as they claim they would win over Taliban in their area?
There are two aims for a military operation. One, that your operation pushes an enemy out. Second, that you carry out so much bombing, so many offensive actions and attacks that the enemy cannot handle it and leaves the area. That is not defeat. Defeat is total surrender, leaving you with no position at all. That situation will never happen in Afghanistan. The Americans and NATO's have the bombs to kill everyone in Mujah. They have advanced bombs to do that. They've been doing it for some time. I tell you that after a month or so, reinforcements will be coming from all over the world, even from Russia. Muslims will be coming. Uzbeks, Tajiks will be coming. Even without the approval of their governments and their parents, they will be coming. It's not a problem. I do not think that the Americans will be able to defeat them. Neither can the Taliban or Mujahideen defeat the NATO forces. They do not have the resources. American soldiers do not have that superior faith. They have the technology, but the faith to sacrifice is not there. That is why they cannot win the war. The Mujahideen have that superior factor, more superior than the technology. But because of their other limitations, the resources and finances, they have no means to throw the Americans out of Afghanistan. But they can wear down the Americans the way the Russians were worn down. It was then that Gorbachev, the honorable ex-president of Russia, gave the order to leave the area. Had the Americans not interfered after their departure, things would have been totally different. But America interfered. America abandoned the Mujahideen and supported the criminals against them, those Mujahideen who made America a superpower. And that is where the problem occurred. The Honorable Gorbachev still says he's very sorry for this. He keeps writing about the American mischief that created the problem.
Now there is a Pakistan role, a mediatory role. The government and the army are talking of their intentions and their readiness to mediate with the Afghanistan Taliban, maybe to convince them to come on a negotiating table with the United States and the international forces. So do you think the Pakistan can really play a big role and can convince the Taliban to come and sit and talk with the Americans?
Why not? We have a tremendous relation with this nation, religious, cultural and historical. But I must tell you that as long as America does not change its policy, Pakistan will not be successful. America has to give reassurance it's not fighting a war, but helping with rehabilitation. A lot of damage has been done to this nation. We need to extend a hand through Pakistan to these people. I'll tell you, Mullah Omar is very considerate. He does not want any more war. He does not want his people to be killed. But he will never surrender. As long as an enemy is there, if today it's America and tomorrow somebody else, he will keep fighting. America has to change its policy and change its face. This technique, this dirty technique of bribery and carrot and stick will not work. They have to be very straightforward. And he's a man. If you do not talk to him, how can you have success with dialogue? You have to talk to the right man. And even if Mullah Omar is not there, God forbid, other people are there. They're going to come out. And I tell you, they are more formidable than this man. It is better, we pray, that Mullah Omar remains, otherwise it will be hell in this area.
Nowadays, a few years back, there are some militants came up under what's called TTP, or Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, But everybody knows that there is a big difference between what is being projected here as under TTP and Taliban Afghanistan. How do you differentiate, in your opinion, what's the difference between Taliban Pakistan and Taliban Afghanistan?
First of all, the Mujahideen of Afghanistan, who call themselves today the Taliban, I would say that they are superior Mujahideen. They left their parties and created this Tariq to fight against the corrupt people in their country. And now they're called the Taliban. They are totally different people as far as experience is concerned, as far as faith is concerned, and the technology and whatever they're doing, than these people. The majority of other people, the vast majority, are not Taliban. They are tribalists. And whatever they're following, it is not Taliban strategy. It is Pashtun culture. And Pashtun culture says, if something happens to you, you take revenge. If somebody kills your man, you go and kill 10. Our religion does not say that. Our religion says that if somebody kills your one man, you go and kill that man. Just take revenge. And beyond that. These people are formidable people, and they're following the Pashtun strategy. It was very effective against the oppositions, and that is the difference between. They have relations, they have Pashtuns, and they have blood relations with each other. And ultimately, when peace prevails, Mullah Omar is going to control them.
Thank you very much.